And thank you very much for joining us. My name is Kelvin Owusu, and you're all welcome to this Zoom presentation, which is also live on my Facebook page, Kelvin Owusu, at the moment. The reception might be a bit of a challenge because, as I said, there's been a lot of rain in Accra, very heavy rain since morning. It started around 9:30, and in fact, it's still drizzling as I'm speaking, and so the reception might be a bit of a challenge, but I hope that you can still hear me. We can still have a sensible conversation this evening right here. This virtual conversation that we are having, it's really an amazing session. I'm really fired up. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. I'm happy that you joined me here live to listen to me. And we're also having the opportunity of sharing on Facebook. So even after the discussion, if you want to go back and recheck it out, you can do so on my Facebook page. You can also share it. You can start a watch party. Whichever one you want to do is good enough for me. All right. So once again, officially, you're all welcome to this evening's session, and I'm happy you're all here to join me, to interact, to have a session, to talk about a few things left and right, so that we can all leave here fired up. You leave here inspired, motivated to go out there and do much more than we've ever done. It's going to be awesome. Dorcas, welcome to the call as well. Great. Okay, so as you may well know, I'm a medical doctor by training, and so it will be impossible for me to get started without talking about the elephant in the room. And that elephant, as you already know, is coronavirus, COVID-19. You know, earlier in the week in Ghana, the president lifted the lockdown, and so there's been, a return to some amount of normalcy, a lot of movement here and there. And you'd be forgiven for assuming that coronavirus had already been defeated. In fact, there are people out there today who say that coronavirus is not in Ghana. They don't have any evidence that coronavirus is in Ghana, and so they are going about their lives as if nothing has happened. Well, I can tell you on authority that coronavirus is indeed in Ghana. There's been 11 people who have died from the virus. There are over 1,000 people who have actually been infected. In fact, currently there are 1,500 people who have tested positive for this virus, and that is quite a number. In fact, since the lockdown was lifted, we've had a significant number added to the number of positives. We don't know if it's the lifting of the lockdown that's causing the spread, or these were positive before the lockdown was lifted. We don't know. But all we can tell you for sure is that you need to take responsibility for your own health. You need to take responsibility for protecting yourself from the coronavirus. If you don't protect yourself and you expect somebody else to protect themselves, you are really putting your life in somebody else's hand, and that is not a good position to be in. And so make sure that you stay home if you don't have anywhere profitable to go to. If you do have to step out, make sure you are wearing your face mask, and make sure that at all times, as often as possible, you are washing your hands and avoid touching your face, your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Very important. Okay, now that I fulfilled my my calling as a medical doctor, can we get started with what we are here to discuss today? And that is really a straightforward discussion. I can, I will, and I must. I can, I will, and I must. I'm going to be toggling between screens. I'm going to share my screen and then come back like that as we proceed in this discussion. It's going to be awesome, really. And I definitely love some feedback. So as we proceed, if you have any question, any contribution, anything that you want to add to whatever we have discussed, drop me a message. You know, post on the Facebook or post on the Zoom platform. Drop a message, and then let's have an interactive session. The fact that we cannot meet and have drinks and interact doesn't mean that we can't interact where we are. It would be great to hear from you all through the course of this discussion. So here we are. I can, I will, I must. And if you see the image on the half of the screen, that's my body goal. Yes, and I can, I will, and I'm going to achieve that body well as soon as the lockdown is lifted, obviously. But what we are here to do today is to understand that in spite of everything that's happening, in spite of all that is going on around us, we can, we will, and we must come out of this much stronger than even how we were when we were going into this discomfort or this uncomfortable situation. You know, coronavirus has changed the world. I mean, it has changed how we used to live life. It has changed our perception, or our concept of life. That's really affected so many things. Has been affected, individual lives have been affected. I mean, I personally know people who, all through the course of the lockdown, they were unable to see their family. The lockdown literally kept them away from their family. Right here in Ghana, but they could not see their family because, well, they were locked down in another part of the country. And so it has really affected everything that we thought was sacred. I mean, countries have been brought to a standstill. The whole world economy has slowed down so significantly, so massively. This is the I don't know, the single so far in the 21st, we're in the 22nd century. I don't even know which is which. In this new millennium, this single occurrence, this single thing, coronavirus, has pretty much defined what how the millennium is going to look. And it's really, even after Corona has passed, this is going to be a reference point. It's kind of like when you remove Jesus Christ from the equation, the next most significant event that has happened is this coronavirus. I mean, if you look at the rate of spread, currently over 2.9 million people across the globe have been infected by this vaccine, this virus. 2.9 million people have been infected or affected by this virus. This is serious. This is actually, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. 2.9 million people have been affected by this virus. It's mind-blowing. Nothing comes close to this kind of infectious rate. And out of this number, so many have passed away. So many have died out of this. In Ghana, like I said, 11 people have died. In Nigeria, about 30 people have passed away. Elsewhere, hundreds and hundreds. In the USA, over 50,000 people have died. It's really, I mean, it's really a catastrophic event. And I honestly, if you don't take care, and that is why this session is important, because it's if we don't take care, the fear that is going around. I mean, so people are so afraid of this coronavirus that they would probably die from the fear than from the virus itself. I mean, if somebody was to cough right now, even on this call, if I was to cough, people on the call would get scared. If you were to cough, you would get scared. Hey, do I have corona? What's going on? That's how much fear we have in us because of this coronavirus. And rightly so. I mean, there's an element of good in the fact that there is a lot of fear, because fear has been known to provoke action. You know, because once you are afraid, you are likely to obey what the experts are telling you, that stay home, social distance, face mask, etc. Of course, we also have a few people who don't care what is going on. I don't want to use certain words, but they are just not bothered by the fact that coronavirus is out there. So they are still getting out of their house and going out there to do totally useless things. And they are the very ones who are going to cause problems for all of us, because once they are infected, they are going to affect people around them as well. But the bottom line is, this coronavirus is here with us, and we as a people must survive in spite of the coronavirus. We cannot allow coronavirus to put us down. And so that is why we are here. But with a quote, my personal quote, and this is one of my mantras, one of my mottos, one of the things that keeps me going, because Charlie, at the end of the day, you have to understand that the mind is a powerful battlefield. I mean, it says that your mind is a never-ending battlefield where on a daily basis, you have to remind yourself why you are here and where you are heading, and find the strength to push through towards your goal. It is the consistency of these actions that separates the highly successful individuals from the underachievers. And that is reality. Indeed, the mind is a battlefield. Everything that goes on around us begins and ends in the mind. If your thoughts are defeated in your mind, it never comes out. If your plans, your targets, your goals are defeated in your mind, it never manifests itself. Doesn't matter how many prayer camps you attend. Doesn't matter how many prophets of the Lord lay their hands on you. If your mind is not right, even if Jesus himself was to reveal what was to come and stand before you and say, my name is Jesus the Christ, because your mind has filtered out some of these things, you will still not recognize that as the man of, as Christ himself. And so your mind is very, very important. This coronavirus is here. It's here with us. It's here. It's happening right here, right now. People have got it. People have caught the infection. But people have also recovered from the infection. People have recovered. In fact, more people have recovered from this infection than have succumbed to the infection. I repeat, more people have recovered from the infection than have died from the infection, which means that there's a lot more hope out there than there is despair. But unfortunately, so many of the productive people that we know have been I don't know how to describe it, coiled or have been bear down by this coronavirus. It's unbelievable. You know, people literally think this is the end of the world. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not the end of the world. I mean, I don't know. I'm not God. All I'm saying is that so long as we are here, so long as we have, so long as we are breathing, so long as so long as we are still here, there's a reason why we are here, and that is the very thing that should give you hope, should give you the push to go out there and achieve something. Let's say for in the worst case scenario, you are indeed going to die. What have you done that will keep your memory alive? And I want you to answer this question for yourself. You've been alive for what, 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50, 60, 70 years? What have you done? Should you die today? Will people be able, I mean, assuming there was no coronavirus and you died today, will people come to your funeral out of obligation, or they'll come to your funeral because you actually impacted their life? Now, that is my biggest challenge to me. I don't want, and I've said this several times. If you have engaged with me before, I've said this several times. I don't want you to come to my funeral out of obligation. Don't come to my funeral because you are there with your opinion. You have to come, because if you don't come, it's not nice. No, I don't want you there. I want you to come to my funeral because I made an impact in your life. I want you to come to my funeral, to attend my funeral because I made an impact in your life. That is why I want you to attend my funeral. I want to make an impact. I want to be impactful. I want to do something so that when they mention my name, they'll remember that he did this, he did that. And so every day I wake up, I'm striving to make something out of my life. I'm striving to be better than I was the previous day. And that is what we need to do. The fact that we are not going to work, the fact that we are not doing, the fact that we are having social distancing, the fact that we are working from home should not reduce our productivity. It should not make us discouraged. It should not make us depressed. Yes, the situation is dire. There are people who have been laid off from work. It's a fact. People have been laid off from work. In America right now, over 25 million people have been laid off from work. I mean, either laid off or their work collapsed. I mean, you see, this virus is doing a lot of things. Oil prices have crashed to below negative. How is it even possible to sell oil at negative something? So I don't know. I don't even get it. So I go and buy the oil, and the oil company pays me for buying their oil. That's what it literally means. It doesn't make sense, but that's what coronavirus has done to us. But you see, I seriously believe that inside these challenges that we are going through, there is an opportunity. And that opportunity is what you and I need to identify so that we can make something out of this opportunity that we'll be given. You see, this coronavirus, in my opinion, the great thing about coronavirus is that it is affecting every country on this earth at the same time. I repeat, every country on the surface of this earth is being affected by coronavirus at the same time. This gives us the two or three possibilities. Now, one, it gives us an opportunity to recognize which countries were actually prepared, and which countries were just doing, which countries were just talking, and which countries were actually preparing themselves for something like this. It gives us that information. Because everybody said that we are ready. In Africa, coronavirus gave us 3 months or so window. People said they are ready, but then I think finally arrived. And indeed, are you ready? Well, your guess is as good as mine. The second thing is, because all of us are being affected at the same time, you cannot use coronavirus as an excuse. And that's even the thing that hits me very hard. I mean, you can't come and tell me that I failed in life because of coronavirus. Well, guess what? I was also alive during coronavirus. And so at the end of the day, from today, when we meet 10 years from today, what have you done with your life after coronavirus? What were you able to do with your life, with your opportunities after coronavirus? And it starts today. It begins today. Listen, I'm sure all of you know about Zoom. We're on Zoom call. We're on the Zoom app right now. Are you aware that in this 3 months or so of 2020, Zoom founder, the Zoom founder has, sorry, I was about to cough and I remember that if I cough, somebody might run away, so I decided not to cough. It's an interesting world right now, isn't it? Now the Zoom founder, this is the Zoom founder. In these 3 months that we've had coronavirus, this gentleman has made $4 extra billion. Can I repeat that? He's made $4 extra billion. In the same 3 months that companies have collapsed and people have been laid off, etc., this gentleman and his company are getting higher returns from their investments. And it's not only him. In fact, almost all the billionaires in America, almost all the billionaires, I'm talking about billionaires in America, have increased their wealth by 10% or more. 10% or more. Do you know what that means? You know, so before I was actually doing a calculation here. So let's pick up your calculator or something, and let's divide. If you made $4 billion in 3 months, that means that every month you made how much? Approximately $1.3 billion. Now, calculate how much he or she made per day. Let's do I'm doing a calculation now so that we'll see whether it makes sense or not. So if you made $4 billion in 3 months, so 3 months is 90 days. So we are going to divide 4 billion by 90 days. 4 billion, and in case you are confused, a billion has nine zeros after and behind it. A billion has 9 zeros. So that's just in case you are confused. So divided by 90. This gentleman made $44 million a day from January the 1st until the end of March. $44 million a day, just one individual. The same coronavirus affected US, China, wherever. And that same coronavirus has arrived here in Africa, in Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, everywhere else. This coronavirus is here. Some people are making a decent income out of this. Some people too are not. What is the difference between these two groups of people? What's the difference between these two groups of people? I'm going to go back to my presentation so that you have an idea what I'm talking about. As I said in the beginning, I'm going to be shuttling back and forth between the presentation and the video so that I can get the personal feel. And so as we go along, if you have any questions or any contribution, just feel free to post on the platform. Feel free to post on the platform so that we can stay engaged. Now, Zoom has been preparing for this moment since the new coronavirus began spreading in China in January. They started doing upgrading their systems. They started doing adverts, started doing free trainings. They started doing promos because they anticipated that there was going to be a boom in the Zoom, and it paid off. So yes, and as much as coronavirus has been a lot of bad news, there's some good news. You see, and the thing about this guy, this Eric Yuan, that's the name of the gentleman. He's a Chinese who emigrated to America. Now, the interesting thing is that when he was trying to move to America, he applied for visa 8 times and he was bounced. He was bounced his visa application 8 times. It was on the 9th time, at the 9th opportunity that he was given that visa to go to America. So imagine being bounced the first time, the depression, the money he has spent and all those things. He went again, number 2, depression again because he was bounced. And then number 3, number 4, number 5. How many of us would have kept going? In other words, why did he keep going back? It's because he knew at the time, this is way back in 1990s, 95, 96. This is way back in those days. And he says that at that time, the internet was booming or was beginning to boom in the USA. It wasn't booming in China. And he knew that the goal he had set for himself, the objective he had for himself to establish this video conferencing system would work well, would thrive in an area where the internet was booming. And so he invested everything he had into emigrating from China to the USA. And so he went the first time he was bounced. He went the second time he was bounced. He went the third time he was bounced. But he kept going. 8 times he was bounced. How powerful is your goal? How powerful is that objective that you are trying to achieve? It's because the thing is, the difference between those who will succeed in spite of coronavirus and those who will fail in spite of coronavirus is the desire for the success before. If that desire is strong, if you are going to break through, you are going to make it in spite of the challenges. And that's why I started by saying that the challenge is the same for all of us. We are all facing the threat of coronavirus. Each and every one of us on this call, whether you're on Facebook or on Zoom, all of us are facing the same threat. You step out of your house today, and the probability that you're going to catch the virus and bring it back home is there for everybody. In Accra, there are 1,200 people who are positive in Accra. The likelihood that you meet somebody is high in Accra. Everyone on this call is at risk of getting that coronavirus infection. Yes, but the question is, what will make you brave that risk and do what you want to do is the purpose or the goal that you have set for yourself, the thing that is on your eye. And when I say on your eye, I'm not talking about what your physical eye, I'm talking about in your mind's eye. When you close your eyes, what do you see? When you picture yourself 5 years from today, what do you see? Where do you see yourself? That vision is what is going to push you to do the things that are uncomfortable today. That vision is what is going to push you to put on that face mask and protect yourself so that you don't catch the virus and die prematurely. Because guess what? If you die prematurely, your goal will die with you. Better still, let me rephrase that. If you die prematurely, the goal will die with you. But somebody else also has a similar goal who will live and fulfill that thing, so that then his name will be on it. You see the thing. You see, this world is a funny place. There's really nothing new under the sun. And I mean, they've said that it's been a cliche that has been said over and over again. But indeed, there's nothing new under the sun. You come up with a great idea. You think that you are the only one who has had this idea. And so it becomes a race against time. That's the mistake a lot of us make. We think that we have time, so we don't act quickly on our goals. We don't act quickly on the thing that we want to achieve. We take our time, we take our sweet time, and we go through it at our own pace in God's time. Or God's time is the best. My brother, God's time is now. God put you on this earth for a time as this. He knew there was going to be a coronavirus outbreak, yet he made sure that you had life. You were alive to see it for yourself. Why? Because there's something in you that needs to come out today. And so if you fail to let that thing come out, then what's the point of being alive? You may as well die and go, because you are consuming the oxygen that we all need. This is the time for you to wake up and do something for yourself in spite of the challenges. Now you are home, you are not working, you've lost your job, or they've had to pull back, you are working from home, you are doing fewer hours than you would do normally. That's okay. It gives you an opportunity to also do something else on the side. It gives you a chance to start something else on the side. This gentleman that we are talking about, this guy, this Eric Yuan guy, he started working on this Zoom, this video conferencing system from 1997. After 8 attempts to get US visa, which he failed, he was bounced. The 9th time he got the visa, he came to America. He reported at Silicon Valley. He went to work with a certain company, which later was bought by Cisco. He became VP at Cisco. Eventually, he transitioned into Zoom. 1997. Count the number of years he's been building the foundation. 1997, 2007, that was 10 years. 2017, that was 20 years. 23 years later, he is now reaping the benefits of the seeds he's sown. And then you are on the other side, you don't know what he went through. You are not, you don't have any clue about what has happened over the past 23 years. And you hear that the man made $4 billion in 3 months, and you're up in arms. Yes, the rich are getting richer. But what do you expect? The Bible says that the rich will get richer. It is in the Bible. It's biblical. Why is this so? Why do you think that the rich keep getting richer? It's because the most successful people in the world today are also the people who took the most risk. Check history. The most successful people also took the most risk. Have you read the story of Bill Gates? Have you read the story of Elon Musk? Have you read the story of Oprah Winfrey? Do you know how many times Oprah Winfrey was raped in her life? Do you have any idea what she went through before she became who she is today? What sacrifice are you making to build a legacy, to leave a legacy for yourself and for your family? What risk are you taking? Yes, coronavirus has come. Stay home, wear face masks, a lot of restrictions. My brother, it is inside these restrictions, there's an opportunity. Because in as much as we are restricted from, we are asked to stay home, we are asked to do all those things, it's also giving you some amount of, it's blocking out some distractions. It's blocking out some distractions. And if you actually utilize this time well, you could make a decent, you could do something out of your, from your own belly. You could come up with something. I mean, what have you been wanting to do all this while? That time or lack of time because you are busy at work. What's that one thing that you've been trying to do that you have never been able to do? Guess what? Now time is no longer an issue. You are at home. Worst case, you have lost your job, which means your source of income has been cut off. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Many of the successful people that we praise today, they started from a position of desperation. Many of the successful people we see today started from a position of desperation. Kwame Despite, I read a story about him. When Nigerians were kicking Ghanaians out of Nigeria, he was part of those who were repatriated into Ghana. And when he arrived in Ghana, all he had to his name was a ghetto blaster and a chainsaw. Don't ask me the connection between those two. I have no idea the connection between the two. Bottom line is, he dropped the chainsaw, picked the ghetto blaster, and that is how he started his music business. Today, Kwame Despite is one of the richest people in Ghana, if not in Ghana. He started from a position of inspiration. You've lost your job. So sorry about that. It's a tough life. It's a hard nut. But if you are desperate enough, my brother, there is a small window of opportunity in this coronavirus that only you can recognize it. Only you can see it in your mind's eye. It depends. What have you told yourself? What do you keep telling yourself? When you wake up in the morning, what do you tell yourself? Are you the kind of person who says that, there's a lockdown, so I can't do anything. Let me just sleep some more. Let me just watch Netflix. Guess what? Netflix subscriber base has increased astronomically. They are making money in these times. Data, MTN, and all those other people, they are making serious money because people are stuck home, and because they're not doing anything productive, they're just browsing the internet, they're just doing all sorts of things. MTN is making a lot of money. Well, they won't admit it, but we all know everybody's using data. How can they not make money? We are making phone calls now. We are doing Zoom presentations. That's all. That's money for them. But of course, you don't expect them to tell that we're making money because, hey, it is what it is. The point is, people are making money today from this coronavirus situation because they built the foundation over time. So obviously, in as much as I'm telling you to get up and do something, it is not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get up tomorrow and be rich. No, it doesn't work like that. But at least it's the beginning of something. And let me drop a secret. Are you aware that this is actually one of the best times to buy property? I don't know if you're aware. If you agree with me, please type I agree on the platform so I know how many people are still with me. If you agree with what I'm saying, please type I agree. Type I agree so I know you can hear me, you can agree. This is actually the best time to buy property. Why is it so? Because of this same desperation we are talking about, people are selling their properties at a much reduced price than they would have sold if coronavirus was not there. And that's a fact. Myself, I acquired something, at about half the price I would have bought it. Why? Because the guy is desperate. He needs money. The business is not moving as fast as it's supposed to be, as fast as it's supposed to move. He needs money today. Obviously, he's going to have to sell something. So yeah, and I happen to be at the right place at the right time. I got the thing at a bargain price, and I'm happy with my thing. Coronavirus has given me an opportunity to own something that I would probably not have got if it was in normal times. And so every time we say that we are not in normal times, I don't know how about you, but when I make that statement, I'm looking for the silver lining. I keep saying on all my calls, I'm a silver lining kind of guy. I always look for the silver lining because, guys, there's enough negativity out there. There's enough negativity out there. I don't need to add mine to what already exists. It is there. It is a known fact. You put on the radio right now, and all you hear is people dying from corona, a lack of burial space, mortuary is overfull. We are not, the media will not focus enough on the fact that people are recovering. No, because positive news does not sell. It's a fact. And so I don't need to add my own version of negativity to what already exists. It's already there. It is in my interest to look for the silver lining, to look for the positive aspects in spite of the challenges. so that I can vim myself up. I can get up out of bed, jump up, and face the day because, hey, it's my life. Even if coronavirus should catch me, it is me that I've caught the thing. I would rather catch coronavirus doing something worthwhile than just being in anything. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. If I had to leave my house, I'd rather leave my house to go and pursue something that is going to give me good returns, positive returns, and that return doesn't necessarily have to be monetary returns. It's not everything that's monetary, but the purpose why I'm leaving my life, my house, if I'm leaving my house today to go out there to face that coronavirus out there, it must be that thing I'm going to face must be worthwhile, must bring some positive return into my life or into my family, into my business organization, so that if I have that mindset, I don't just get up and say I'm going to buy ice cream and so I'm driving around. It doesn't make sense. There's coronavirus out there. Why would I leave and go and die such a foolish death? This is not the time to get up and drive and go and get ice cream. For what? And so the point I'm trying to make is that as for the risk of coronavirus, it is there. Like today's rain, that same rain that fell, it fell, I think the whole of Accra. In fact, I don't know if you are in Ghana or in fact, I think it fell across West Africa. If you had rainfall in your local area, please type your location and then add rainfall so we know how widespread the rain fell. If the rain fell where you are, please type your location and then type that the rain fell over there so that we know how widespread the rainfall was. Can I get some reactions to that? It rained in Cape Coast. Anywhere else? Where else did it rain? Aflao. Wow. Tema Ho Pram Pram. Amasaman. Dodoa. Ho Winneba. Wow. Sogakope. Madina, Akimodan. It rained in all these areas. Bremen, Esikuma, La Paz, Accra. Where else? Just type where you are. If it rained where you are, just type the location. If it rained where you are, it rained in Lagos. Wow. It rained in Kaswa. Indeed. So it rained in Virginia too. Oh my goodness. It rained in Kwada. So the rain literally fell across West Africa. So you get my point. This same rain fell across West Africa. Almost everybody on this call experienced the rain that fell today. In Accra, this level of rainfall, it probably means that there was a lot of flooding somewhere in Accra. And once there's flooding, it means that somebody probably died. So unfortunately, I pray that we don't hear any such news. But again, once you put on the news, you're going to hear that these things are happening. That's the negativity we are speaking about. The conditions that are prevailing in the country as we speak is the same, regardless of where you are. This coronavirus is called a pandemic because it's affecting the entire globe at the same time. Some people have died after the coronavirus. Some people have made $1 billion out of the coronavirus. Where do you stand in this coronavirus discussion? Are you going to let the coronavirus pass by and then you return to life as you were used to? Guess what? Life will never go back to how it was. In fact, one of the reasons why we are having a challenge in the market as we speak today, is that the market women want to continue with life the way they are used to. They want to still stay in the crowded place, sell to the customers, make noise, and try to attract customers as they pass by, so that they share those who are selling the material, they'll try to pull you and show you something. They want to continue in that same trajectory. The law enforcement agencies also want to use the same tactics of intimidation, of force, to try and drive the message of social distancing out there. Both parties have forgotten that coronavirus has changed the game. They changed the game. Imagine if you were a market woman and before Corona, you took the contacts of everybody who bought from you. Anybody who bought tomatoes from you, you collected their phone number. And now they are talking about social distancing, etc. You have your tomatoes sitting in your house. Couldn't you call all these customers and offer to deliver the tomatoes to them? Wouldn't that be a new business opportunity right there? Would you then be subject? So now, assuming that the market was locked because there was flouting of social distancing rules, would you be affected? The answer is a no, because your tomatoes is no longer in the market. So whether they love the market or not, the open market, it doesn't affect you. And your goods will not get spoiled because you have a database of your customers. Of course, not all of them will buy the tomatoes, but some of them will buy the tomatoes. And most of them are buying the tomatoes, your stock will still be useful. And so you are not going to get spoilage. And so it's because people want to return to life as they used to have it. Listen, it's not going to be business as usual after Corona. Corona has come. You see, those of you employee, let me tell you something. I'm an employer, so I understand what I'm saying. Those of us who are employed, who for some reason have been asked to go home and stay home and wait for us to call you back. After coronavirus, there are two things that's likely to happen. Number one, if the company was able to run efficiently with the skeleton staff, do you really think that any company owner will re-engage you to come back and increase their wage bill? Do you think that they will do that? So if you are sitting at home waiting for Corona to pass by so that they will re-engage you, my brother, you see how you are going to be, your face you'll be looking when Corona blows away and they don't call you back. On the other hand, and the second thing, you yourself, if while you are sitting at home, you start something small, which picks momentum and begins to give you income, and by the time Corona passes away, you are making equal to or more than your salary. Do you think that even when that company re-engages you, you get up and go back? Not likely. And so the point is, it's not going to be business as usual after Corona. So stop waiting, stop marking time. This is the opportunity you prayed about. This is the opportunity you asked God for. He has given it to you. It didn't come dressed in a white over with wings. It came as coronavirus, but it is still an opportunity. Identify that silver lining in your Corona situation and make the most out of it. And my brother, you and I will be happy that we did. Because some have died, though. You haven't died, which means there's a purpose, there's a reason why you are here. If you have not died from this coronavirus, there's a reason why you haven't died. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. Get up and do something about it. Start building your foundation now. Start building your foundation right now so that 5 years, 10 years from today, you can look back at this coronavirus experience and understand that this was the beginning. This was the trigger. This was the push I needed to get me from here to there. When you're counting your millions, remember me so that you come and give me some, because I also helped you small. Am I lying? Thank you very much. I shall drop my bank details very soon so that 10 years time, you drop $1 million in there for me. I'm very happy to accept it. And so the best time to have started your planting was yesterday. But yesterday is gone. Yesterday is gone. Another day has come. We have today. Let us start building today. Let us start planting today. Let us start planting today. That idea you have been postponing all this while. That idea you have been postponing since time immemorial. This is the best time to get started. Today, if it requires acquiring property, this is the best time because property is cheaper today. If it's about acquiring new skills, you can learn a new language, you can learn how to play the piano, you can learn something. This is the time to learn something new. This is the time to learn something new. Very, very important. Now, as we wrap up, I do hope that you have got some value from what we shared so far. I hope you have got to do for yourself. In fact, even motivation comes from within. There's a very thin line between motivation and manipulation. Now, if you don't know, I'm a network marketer. And as a network marketer, we try to do a lot of things. We try to carry people along. We try to get the energy to push people. We try to do a lot of things to keep the team going. It's not an easy thing. I mean, because sometimes you yourself, you lack motivation. But if you show your deflation, it affects the rest of the team. And so you have to find a way to lift yourself up so that you can now lift everybody up. But there's a very thin line between manipulation and motivation. And that thin line is this. If you tell somebody to do something that they were not willing, like deep down in themselves, they don't want to do, it's not in them to do it. That could be manipulation, actually. But if that person already wanted to, that fire was already there, and you are pouring fuel on the fire that's already existing, that is motivation. And so there must be a fire already in the person before you can now add on to it. So even this conversation we are having right now, It's possible that you're on the call, you're on the call because somebody forced you here. It's also possible that you join out of your own volition. The point is, if it was a self-motivated action, then what I've shared so far is adding to that fire, so that at the end of this call, somebody is going to get up and do something that they've been postponing for some time, all because I said something that connected with something that was already inside him. But if there's nothing inside you, all I'll be saying is just a waste of your data. And so the motivation, the desire, the drive should already have been there. And so that's why I'm saying that everything that all the things I've been postponing till now, you have to get up and do it. You are a teacher. There's no schools, and schools are no longer in session. Why haven't you created a YouTube channel to start some online teaching sessions for whoever? You start a channel today, you share with your friends and family, one person subscribes, two people are subscribed. By the end of the year, you have 100,000 subscribers. That's a whole business out there. You are a tailor, you are a seamstress. Why are you not already sewing face masks? And by the way, if you are sewing face masks, make sure you sew the approved one. Don't just take cloth and plaster on the face. It has to be 3-ply, 3 layers of cloth. And the cloth should not be printed cloth. It should be, at least the inner surface should not be printed cloth. It should not have any chemicals in there. The part that touches the nose should not have any chemicals in there at all. This coronavirus has given you an opportunity to diversify, to learn new things and become better, to become a better version of yourself. You are already born a winner. You were born a winner. What is left now is for you to live the life you were born to live. You have to own that space, Yes, you can. You can do it. You were born for a moment as this. You were born for a day as today. You were born to overcome coronavirus. So that 10 years from today, 20, 30 years from today, when you speak to your grandchildren, you can speak from a position of authority. Yes, I've been there, I've done that, and you too can do it. How can you share your story with somebody when that story, there's no lesson to be learned in that story? You have to have a reason, or somebody needs to see a reason to come to you for advice. And we are wrapping up gradually. As I said, you're already born an achiever. Even when you were formed as a baby, the number of sperm that died in trying to get you to achieve the target, you have no choice than to be successful. You cannot just come and die as well. No, you were born for a reason. You are here for a purpose. You have to own your life and make it count. And since you've been born, you've been a winner since then. Do you know how many pregnancies are terminated spontaneously? Up to 50%. And even those that survive, about 20% of them are aborted. And even after you are born, 5% of Ghanaian children die before their first birthday. Another 5% die before their 5th birthday. But you didn't die, you are still here. There's a reason why you are here. You are here for a purpose. You are here because there's something inside of you that must be made manifest. Otherwise, you would have died already. And so long as you are alive, understand that you are not just here to occupy space. You are here to fulfill a divine purpose. And so stop playing small. Stop playing the little leagues. Wake up and do the things that you have to do. Begin to formulate, if you don't have an idea, begin to think about an idea. Go on the internet and type ideas for business during coronavirus. Just type in Google, business ideas during COVID, and identify something that you can start today. If you already have an idea, move it forward, write it down, put pen on paper and write down your ideas, put a cost to it, find out how much it will cost. You see, the thing is, because you haven't written the thing down, many of you don't know how much it will cost for you to start something for yourself. You don't even know. And so I'm challenging you to write it down and put a cost to it. And after you have put a cost to it and you understand how much it will cost you, and by cost, I don't just mean money. I'm talking about money, time, all other resources. Put everything down. And after you have put them down, then now you begin to identify where you can find those resources. The brain is a powerful device. The brain is a very powerful tool. If you have not thought about it, if you have not conceptualized it, you will not begin to make the connections. It's kind of like when I bought my first car. At the time I was buying the car, there was no car with that color. I thought I was the one buying the first of that color. I thought it was a very unique color. But as soon as in fact, when I bought that car, I sat in and I drove out to the showroom. When I came onto the road, the very first car I saw on the road was the same car model and the same color. And since that time, I kept meeting different cars, the same car model, the same color at different places. How come I never saw that color until I bought the car? Because until I bought it, I had not conceptualized, I had not registered, it had not registered in my eye. But once it was registered, I began to notice all similar things around me. In the same way, until you conceptualize your business and make it tangible, you will never find the connections you need to raise the resources. Your presence today is not by chance. There's a purpose for which you are still here. You need to identify that purpose. And purpose transcends personal glory. It is no longer just about you, but about the impact you will make on humanity as a whole. So start today, start small, grow your goal, grow the expectation, grow the target gradually over time. So long as you are making forward movement, it's good. Don't mark time. Push forward. Push till there's nothing left to push anymore. Push until there's no more push inside of you. Keep pushing until you succeed. And after you succeed, guess what? You then become a role model. You become a torchlight illuminating the path for others to also follow. I keep saying that there are not enough role models in Ghana. I'm talking about when it comes to business. So many of the business entities in Ghana are politically affiliated. And so it makes it difficult for us coming up to know how exactly to build a business. It looks like if you don't enter politics, you can't build a successful business. Well, as much as it depends on me, I'm hoping and praying that we can get a crop of people who may not be politically affiliated, or at least not so engrossed into politics, who are going to build serious businesses and chart a path for the rest of us in Africa to follow, so that 10 years from today, we'll have role models out of this call that we had today. What is the one thing, this is a question, what's the one thing that you would do if you knew you could never fail? If failure was not a possibility, what's that one thing that you would do? What's that one thing that you would do if failure was not a possibility? What is the one thing you would do? Answer that question and then take it to the next further. Get up and put it into action and achieve that particular thing. Thank you very much for being here with me on this 1 hour long talk. It's been quite interesting, quite revealing. Myself, I'm motivated, I'm fired up. I'm ready to go out there and do some more things because, hey, I have time now. There's no work. There's hardly any movement. This is my time. This is my time. I have claimed it. I have owned it. And I'm going to make sure that by the time coronavirus blows over, I would have done something that my children will be proud of, to point and say, that is my father. He did that in spite of the challenges. That is my goal. What's your goal? Because I'm repeating, the coronavirus pandemic is the same thing that all of us across the globe are experiencing. It's not only you. So if somebody has been able to make $1 million out of it, let us also plant the seeds today so that we can also make $1 million in a few years to come. It is possible. If you agree with what I've said so far, go on the text platform and type your name, I, Mr. So and so. It is possible for me to become whatever. It is, if you are proud, if you are happy to share with us in public, go ahead and type it for us all to see. Otherwise, write it somewhere, make a note somewhere, paste it on your fridge, paste it on your bed, somewhere that you see every day that you wake up, so that becomes your motivation, that becomes your inspiration, that becomes your target. And when you wake up in the morning and you know that you have a target that you have not achieved, you're not going to lie down and say that the day, there's lockdown and blah, blah, blah. No, you're going to wake up and grind because there's a target that you have not yet achieved. So get up and make it count. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for tuning in to this session. I hope you've had value. I hope you've been blessed. We'll do this again some other time. Until then, have a wonderful time. Stay safe. Remember that you have to stay safe, protect yourself so that you do not succumb to this coronavirus. And if you notice any symptoms, call the ambulance service, call the coronavirus helpline, and get the help that you need so that you can overcome this coronavirus. We have a better way. Let's go out and then share with the rest of the world. Have a guys. Thank you very much. Peace. In the meantime, I'll go back to my favorite song, so you can join me dance with my music.
Cause you love me alone and you don't want to rise me. Because I'm a Sarah, you are the sea. Because you know other girl, I'm the one way I'm sharing.